Welcome to Landmark College's Broadcast Journalism News Show. I'm William Watson.
And I'm Gerald Flatman, and this show features stories about the I-91 Bridge Project, news around the world, and sports news.
Up first, let's turn things over to our special correspondent, Justin De La Garza, and an update on the I-91 bridge construction. Justin?
Thanks, William. Southern Vermont commuters are in an additional year of delays. Secretary of Transportation Sue Minter says that bridge construction between exits 2 and 3 is behind schedule and will go through another construction session. In addition to the Brattleboro Selection Board, Minter says the unexpectedly harsh winter weather, unanticipated surface conditions, and permitted delays have all contributed to the issues. Original plans anticipated construction being completed by spring 2016, and now 4-lane traffic won't be restored until last November of the year. Back to you, Will.
Licensed of Hindle had his bail set at $25,000 by a New Hampshire courthouse. Smith is currently facing 3 felony charges of possession of child sexual abuse images. The charges are currently under investigation by the Hinsdale Police Department with collaboration efforts by the New Hampshire Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force and the Cheshire County Attorney's Office. Assistant County Attorney John Gassaway requests bail be set at $50,000 rather than $25,000. Gassaway says the investigation is still ongoing, and so far, Smith's computer has revealed 100 images and 30 videos of sexual abuse.
Vermont senators voted on a gun bill for ownership restrictions. The Burlington Free Press reports this new bill allows state law enforcement officials to charge owners with a felony. Additionally, it permits persecution of those carrying firearms who previously were convicted for acts of violence, child sex, and drug crimes. Background checks can now be made for people determined by court to be mentally ill and thus dangerous to themselves and or others, except for exchanges between immediate family members. Background checks will also be made for private gun sales.
They should have called 911, says Commissioner Joe Esposito, after an explosion in New York's East Village. The owner of the building didn't contact the authorities in the blast. 4 other buildings were damaged and 3 collapsed, followed by a gas-enraged fire. Authorities found 2 bodies. The explosion is still under investigation. The focus is on a tampered gas line. In August, Con Edison shut off the line for 10 days due to the restaurant owner smelling gas. One of the victims is identified as Nicholas Figueroa. He was missing for a week. Maurice Locan, an employee at the restaurant, was also reported missing last week by his brother. Both persons were assumed to be at the sushi restaurant when the explosion happened.
An SUV crashed into a mobile home earlier this week in Palmetto, Florida. The SUV was driving northbound on US 41 at 2:30 a.m. when it crashed through a fence and into the mobile home. 2 people were sleeping inside the mobile home and were killed upon impact. The victims were unidentified, but sources were told the woman sleeping inside was in the advanced stages of pregnancy and her unborn child died. The man driving the SUV was taken to the hospital for injuries. Police said he had a numerous background record for reckless driving.
The nuclear submarine is a longtime favorite in use before, during, and after the Cold War. These subs are starting to become old, and retiring these subs has been difficult for most navies. However, a depository has been found, and with these graveyards comes a great cost to the environment. For the Russian Navy, they have been using the Kara Sea, and the United States Navy has used the nuclear waste depository in Hannaford, Washington. These graveyards can even be seen from Google Maps or satellite photos.
The Vermont legislature formally recognized the 1915 Armenian genocide, but due to an ironic scheduling error, that same day the Council of Turkic American Associations hosted a cultural event in the State House. This ironic because the genocide was perpetrated by Ottoman Empire, which became what is now Turkey. The Turkish government continues to deny the genocide. This year marks the 100th anniversary of the genocide. April 24th is the official Armenian Remembrance Day.
Student debt is like STDs. If you go to college and you have a good chance of getting them, and it will follow you around for the rest of your miserable life. Most college students will leave college with a lot more than a robe and the places you can go bought for them by their tearful grandma. Several out of 10 college graduates left college last year in debt. The total bill for college students tops $1 trillion. That's bigger than credit card debt and even bigger than auto car loans in the USA. In the last decade alone, student debt has not only doubled but tripled at an increasing rate so fast. You may ask why this is. This is because you have cut short. This is because states have cut short funding for higher education by 23% in recent years. Public institutions respond by raising rates, thus in turn forcing students to take over even larger amounts of loans.
Switching gears, let's turn to sports to look at the upcoming NFL draft. Former Oregon quarterback Marcus Mariota stated publicly his decision to be absent from the NFL draft in Chicago is deeply rooted in his cultural ties to Hawaii and family bonds. He says he wishes to spend this time with his grandmother, who has type 2 diabetes and is unable to travel. He wants to share this moment, he says, with the people that are the most special to him. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell says, "I'm not concerned about that. I think that it's something we respect when a player says, I'd like to be with my family that day. It's an important day for them also." With Jameis Winston also not expected to attend the draft, USC defensive tackle Leonard Williams could go number 1. He is not projected to go any lower than 3rd overall. Joining us now is John Pearlstein with Soccer News.
Hello to all of you out there tuned in today, and welcome to the Brattleboro Soccer Scene with John Pearlstein. Today we'll be covering the hottest in European trade rumors and FIFA World Cup news. Manchester United of the Barclays Premier League is hoping to acquire German Mats Hummels from Borussia Dortmund in a potential future transaction. The 26-year-old veteran has been tied to multiple accusations of club transfers, and a final decision has not yet been confirmed. Hummels recently admitted to reporters that the rumors are true, as he is mulling over his future. Hummels says he's had many conversations with the leaders of Borussia Dortmund, but has yet to make a decision about his future. Mats wrapped it up with press by expressing his openness and dislike for claiming to stay at a football club with ulterior motive to secretly transfer. Hummels states that moving abroad will generally be good for his professional career and personal well-being. At the moment, there has been no further news on the final decision, though. On the international level, the FIFA organization is denouncing comments calling for a boycott of the 2018 World Cup in Russia. They've made it clear they believe the tournament will bring peace to the region. This past week, the Ukrainian President Petro Poroshenko called on allies to consider boycotting the tournament if Russia did not pull out their troops from Ukraine territory. FIFA President Sepp Blatter says a boycott of any sporting event has never brought solutions, and called for an immediate end to political interference from the European Parliament. Blatter insists the World Cup will definitely take place in Russia 3 years from now. Further World Cup news has come to light regarding the future tournaments, as the 2022 World Cup being held in Qatar is firing up the Citizens and Board of Committee. The proposal to shift the traditionally summer scheduled event to November and December is raising a lot of debate and questions. People primarily fear that if the World Cup took place in the summer, players would have to endure fiery temperatures around 43 degrees Celsius, sometimes reaching 122 degrees Fahrenheit in the late summer. The architects hired to cater to and build the stadiums have made additional suggestions to have air cooling technology installed into these majestic stadium structures. And now back to William at the studio.
Thanks, John. Have you been to a fast food restaurant that has good customer service? According to many reviews, Chick-fil-A, a fast food chain that isn't easy to find in Vermont, received the highest customer rating experience for 4 years in a row. Bruce Temkin, the founder of the ratings website, says how Chick-fil-A's customer service is impressive while dealing with competition from fast food restaurants. Its service customer ratings were followed by Papa John, Dairy Queen, Panera Bread, and Subway. And Sonic Drive an excellent rating. Some of these places may be far, but the service would be worth the drive.
Just 2 months after Jon Stewart announced his exit from The Daily Show, Anchor Desk Comedy Central found a new host, Trevor Noah, from South Africa. Noah first stepped foot on the show in December and made 2 more appearances. Noah is scheduled to begin his new role as host after Stewart's last show sometime later this year.
Earth Day is always celebrated on April 22nd. Earth Day began when citizens wanted to help the environment. In 1970, millions of Americans held a demonstration to support Earth Day. People spend the day outdoors and enjoy the fresh air. They plant trees, flowers, and gardens. Some people take a walk in the woods, make a plan to enjoy the day.
Thanks for watching our news show brought to you by the folks at BCTV and the students at Landmark College.